no arbitrary code execution kind of things. They will be free to do what they want. It's just that they will not necessarily be required to do advanced, terrible tricks. Although there are a few tricks that may be required. We are running on level 2 difficulty logic, so things like shine sparking into to access the sectors without morph ball can and often is required.
Yep. And as Adam says during the intro, which our runners went past quickly because we gotta go fast. We need plasma beam, charging, and missiles in order to defeat the SAX and the Omega Metroid at the end of the game. But that's not all we need. We also need the items necessary to reach and open the level 4 security locks, which are the red colored doors. Which that in itself requires multiple items, including the likes of Gravity Suit as one of the most prominent ones due to being underwater.
Also to note about the randomizer, although the intent is that you should not be be able to roll incompletable seeds. That's not 100% ironed out quite yet. However, these matches in the tournament have been vetted by other players, looking at logs of the outputs, and it is confirmed that these tournament matches will have a way to complete them.
Yeah, as you know, I see in chat, there's no way that they will be able to soft lock if they follow the item progression. But if they go out of logic at any point to try and check an area early, and they get stuck, that would cause them to have to reset to wherever their last save was.
There are also what's known as point of no return checks that players may have to go somewhere that would be a soft lock in order to find an item that will unsoft lock them.
Yeah. MST gained speed booster for sure. We are seeing some technical issues, it looks like. But we have a morph ball for MST.
Yeah. Morph ball for both of them. Morph ball and speed booster is a nice combination.
MST is going back for this one check, while flip side is going towards Sector 2, which turns out could be a very good idea since MST found a energy tank for their troubles. Flip side piercing through the Kago with speed booster to find their own energy tank. Now they will be making their way to open up the level 1 locks. It's always a very common and very good, usually, move to go to Sector 2 first and open up the blue doors. Because that opens up potential access to Sectors 3 and 4 once you have the necessary items to go in them. And it is possible to get those very same necessary items with the data room that is opened up in Sector 2 from using the blue hatch. And our data room today has Varia Suit, the one thing neither runner found in the previous deed. But Varia Suit, that definitely opens up some options and makes certain rooms safe to enter. So, most likely, Sector 3 will be the destination for both of our runners next. And that is where Flipside is currently gone off to. And they are taking a safety save. After their misfortune in the previous race, they're being more cautious this time around. Whereas MST is continuing without taking a save there. But here we find Charge Beam. That is one of the items that they need to challenge the SAX and Omega Metroid at the end. It also gives them access to Sector 1, because the Charge Beam can also destroy the stabilizers. Both runners gaining through the heated room. And here's the ice beam we mentioned that can make it hard to see what beams they have at a glance. Well, some of the beams. Luckily, thanks to the Varia Suit, they do not have to worry about taking damage while climbing back through the room.
Yeah, we might get a different sprite for the ice beam alone in the future, but as of now, it's currently indistinguishable from ice plasma. This does have implications logically as well. Just the ability to freeze enemies in general is pretty helpful in terms of getting around the sectors.
Yeah, it looks like Flipside is going to be going back up in order to check the item in the Morph Ball tunnel on the main deck to find it is an energy tank. MST making their way into Sector 1. They bonked against the door, so they will have to use the Charge Beam rather than Speed Booster to take down the stabilizer. And they find the missiles. What the location? And those are a very useful thing to have. Unfortunately, technical issues on Flipsides and like it hard to tell exactly where they are. But I think it's safe to say they're going to Sector 1 with the Charge Beam. MSC dipping into the lava to find a missile tank. falling on every space pirate on the way down.
Yeah, turns out falling is basically the same as shine sparking downwards, except without the shine spark, so you can't just plow through them. But you will accelerate, you will fall faster than your own missiles. Well, I mean, technically, missiles do move faster, but they take a while to accelerate.
Yeah, they have an acceleration period before they really start going. So, unless you shoot well in advance, you can easily just fall onto the target first. And this race's technical issues are unfortunate. We can confirm, as I pretty much already knew, that we have missiles over on Flipside's end. MSCs. Well, time to switch audio again. I do apologize for technical issues going on to those who aren't viewing.
Personally, I blame society.
MST gained the spark above the charge core X to find an energy tank, opting not to grab it, focus on defeating the core X. And gain an energy tank anyways after just passing up on one. Upside not far behind. Dealing with the Ghidorah, missing the first attempt at a double there. And not getting the second one either.
They're really hard to do. That's probably the hardest IDOR to get double missiles on.
Yeah, there's such limited room. Flipside getting into the room with the Shine Spark live. Seeing an energy tank, also deciding not to grab it. Kinda trying to maneuver the Core X into a favorable position. And they successfully get it pretty much right where it goes to. So they grab the Core X as soon as possible. Upside dealing with the last stabilizer that is required. While there is one more stabilizer, there is currently no benefit to clearing out all of them. There are no changes to the game state.
Yeah, we're gonna blow them all up anyway.
And yeah, both runners have passed up at least one E-tank each at this point. Multiple, actually. MSD making their way up towards Arachnus because of the missiles. Arachnids is likely to be where they have to go after picking up the missiles. Especially with 5 possible items to pick up. The enemy spawning to immediately get shot in the face. And we got bomb data. So with bomb data, that does open up the green security room.
So fun fact, with Charge Beam you can destroy these eye doors in one shot. However, with Charged Ice Beam, because it has fewer projectiles, it actually takes 2 shots.
Now we have a space jump. And a power bomb tank. Not the most useful thing to find. They considered leaving, but decided that as long as they're here, they will fight Arachnids, so they play. Because they could list Morph Ball. That is the only thing in the base game that keeps you in here, is just not having it. I see flip side, got bomb data. And super missiles from Arachnids is definitely worth the time. Because if there's anything else they have to fight, that just speeds that up by a lot. Because getting super missiles is basically tripling damage from the base missile. No.
That's right, the box fight is going to be doable now that they have super missiles. With regular missiles, it is still possible to defeat box, but you would need 30 of them. They could also opt to defeat it with Charge Beam. It's just much slower that way. So they did already have that option. It's just a bad one.
Yeah, but that is most likely where both runners are going to go next, is Sector 3. Because they have all the tools to get a decent amount of checks from it. Like, there's a couple they'll miss out on, but... It's like MST is taking their tools through the heated room to check the item over there. Which could work out. It'll just be hard to tell if it does or not. Flip side making their way down. It's making their way straight to the security door. Flip side, making our way towards the lower sector 3.
They do have an option now to check the 2 lower items, or 3 lower items down here. There's this one and 2 more behind it, but it seems to be a pretty uncommon play.
Oh, looks like MSC got level 2 locks during the downtime. Who needs to do an ice puzzle when you can just space jump over them all?
Yeah. I find it interesting that MST actually went up and checked Bob before doing this.
Flip side, getting the Bob energy tank. Making their way towards box. Now, MST also making their way over towards box. Flip side gain some more missiles for safety. Doesn't hurt to have a few spare lying around.
Sure, yeah. Now with 20, they will have plenty to spare on the box fight in case their aim isn't quite so true. Making pretty good work of the box fight here.
Very
missing
clean
2
fight.
shots.
Overall, very clean fight. That was a lingering firewall getting hidden and revenge. That looks like an energy tank. Yep, box is an energy tank. MST killing box, but really far to the left, so they have to wait for box to make it all the way over. Flip side getting hit by the enemy that I forget the name of, but it loves stopping speed booster. Flip side making your way out.
Yeah, I'm a little surprised we haven't seen too much divergence yet. It's been a very close race so far.
Yeah, a lot of the same decisions coming out of our runners so far. Flip side going into sector 2 now. MST might be going that way. No, we have a diversion right after you said that.
There we go. Yeah, the beginning of the sector, or the beginning of the seeds, often bottleneck players into just wanting to do the same plays. But yeah, now that level 2 doors are open, we're finally seeing that divergence we were hoping for.
So flip side in sector 2, MST in sector 4. We're gonna see if either of them gets a big payoff for their decision.
And MST opting not to go for Ceres. By the looks of it, they're just gonna check these two items. The item is pretty out of the way, and then the pump controls and just be on their way out.
Yeah, making their way towards the out of the way item right now.
I see a lot of people opting to skip Ceres. I kind of wonder why that is. Like, Ceres is a pretty rare case for having progression, but it's not like... oh, here we go. Ice missiles.
But MST does get something out of this.
It just feels like Ceres is just kind of on the way to these checks. So for this seed, this is absolutely the right play to do these, instead of just looking at them from the other side of the wall. But yeah, it's just interesting how the meta has been early on. It's kind of like how players basically know that whenever you start with Morph Ball as the first item, you know it's going to be a spicy seed. And I don't know if there's any particular reason for that. That just seems to be the case.
MST lowering the water level. Well, flip side is going into the Zabi. MST managed to jump over the power bomb tank, does not pick it up. Unfortunately, the Zabi is a very slow fight. And it isn't helped by the fact that when the Zabi opens up a weak point, it can be very random sometimes. Oh, a major for MST. Diffusion, ice and diffusion, both in Sector 4.
And White Beam over on Zazabi, that is something that's gonna, if they ever find Wave Beam, that's not gonna be a downgrade anymore, so that's a nice find. It's just a really long fight to get it.
Yeah. There's a couple more checks Flipside could go for on the way back up. Like they go... Oh, they're not cocooned, so they could technically check that room, but opting not to, since anything being in that room is really rare.
Interesting. Yeah, and on top of that, I believe in order to hatch that cocoon, you would need plasma, is it?
Plasma, and I think space jump.
Space jump, okay. Wasn't sure if it was space jump or Varia. I don't know why Varia though, but... So that's it's a pretty smart play to skip that, because they're pretty much... I mean, they are looking for Gravity Suit, but they also really want to find Plasma. And it's just not going to be in there.
It looks like they're gonna be on their way out of Sector 2 now. While MST is in Sector 6 looking for items. Another item. Power bomb.
Oh, no.
And gravity suit.
Oh wow.
Both runners finding something very useful.
One of them being considerably more appealing than the other. So with power bombs, MST now has the power to backtrack to other areas and get a bunch of checks that they couldn't before.
Yep, is both a blessing and a curse.
It could be required. It's possible. But
Possible, but we'll see. Flipside on their way to Sector 5.
ooh, this is not a very pleasant fight with just charged ice. I now realize.
Yep. Gain multiple hits in a row though. That would work in their favor, while Flipside is checking the top Sector 5.
Ooh.
Plasma
Oh, there it is.
That is a very good find for them. I'm sure they're happy with that one.
I believe that's Go mode, isn't it?
They have charge, they have missiles, they have plasma.
You have gravity, speed,
So they have
space jump.
They have everything they need. They are in go mode. Unless we're both forgetting something.
That's the second or third time Plasma has been there.
I mentioned in the previous race that routing can be, like, their decisions on routing can be all the difference. Finding all this stuff based on where Flipside was checking compared to MST really shows that, I think, that there is some luck involved in randomizer races because you don't know where anything is. So you might get lucky or one of your decisions ends up being the correct one.
So with the wide beam, Flipside isn't even gonna have to worry about what if I accidentally find wave beam. It's just a non-issue now. Whereas Metroid MS2 isn't gonna be finding wide beam and already has wave beam. It's a rough one, that's for sure.
MST making their way out of Sector 6. The question is, where are they planning to go next? They're going into Sector 2, so they're going to be finding some of the items that Flipside already found, but unfortunately for them, they will be behind. Especially with Plasma being in Sector 5. Unfortunately, not quite able to see when Flipside gets the red doors. Which they probably have them by now. But due to technical issues, we can't confirm it on the tracker. MC making her way through the left side of Sector 2. The direction most people seem to generally go when they plan to loop around the whole of Sector 2. Oh, a major item. Picking up high jump.
Wow. That's a really nice find. Well, MST might go fight Zazabi for a wide beam here. We'll see how it pans out.
Trying to grab the missile tank. Let's see. Flipside does not have a very good situation here.
Actually, I don't even know. Is it possible to freeze these things with the ice beam? Oh,
Ice
now
beam.
I know.
Yeah, but I didn't expect them to get that fast. But yeah, it is possible from just the right angle. You are able to get a ice beam. It's just a lot trickier than using the more conventional methods.
Is it the same property where you can bend the shot forward?
I believe so.
Okay.
MST checking this room, seeing the missiles, and more missiles. Sounds about right for this room, honestly. Flipside on their way up.
Dang, so MST did skip out on Zazabi and is not going to be getting the wide beam, which means it's going to save them a lot of time.
A lot of time now. Maybe depends how the fight goes later.
Mm-hmm.
But either way, it's gonna take a lot of disaster on the flip side's end, I think. They have more energy than last race, so they'll have a safer fight ahead of them. MC going back for the missiles. I think they're starting to think they might have to fight more bosses. Are they going towards Notori? MST is going to fight Notori. And unfortunately, they're gonna be probably disappointed because it's not likely to. I don't know what could have that could help them along. I guess screw attack.
They do have more damage output with those super ice diffusion missiles, but it's gonna take quite a few charge ice wave shots.
Yeah, it's still... The Tori still has a lot of health, while Flipside is on the ice core right now. Just got stuck facing diagonally so they can just kind of pick it apart as they please. Propulsion system activated. No. I go to switch the audio over and the stream froze temporarily on Flipside side. Current side lucky. MST fighting the Plasma Core X. Defeating it to find a power bomb tank. Probably the worst reward they could have had for that time input.
Yeah.
That is very unfortunate for them. Flipside on their way to go fight Omega. Hello, Omega. How are you doing today? I think he's hungry. Now, MST looking to make their way towards the reactor. They'll make it down in a very clean fight. They had to step back to avoid getting hit a couple times, but overall a clean execution, and that is time for Flipside.
We're gonna see if they're gonna want to break after 2 consecutive seeds. This is a lot to. That's a lot. They may want to get up and stretch, and we'll see what they say about that.